right. Welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray, your host. Today I have Irina Pelletier, based out in Central Florida. She is the founder and creator of Butterfly Your World. So, Irina, welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Irina, this is your first podcast. I would like
Yep.
my audience to learn more about who you are, and how did you come up with the name Butterfly Your World?
Well, I was like the way I came out with the business. I was a mom. I became a mom, a parent, and I was trying to figure out some kind of a small path for me where I can be home and a hobby, maybe some kind of an income. And I started making kids moccasins, like kids. I started with moccasins, and then I started making shoes, and then I got custom requests for colors, different details, characters for Disney's parks and stuff like that. And I wanted to have a name that will be like whimsical in a way. Like I'm obsessed with butterflies, so I figured that would be like sort of a like rock your world, but in a whimsical way. So that's kind of how it made in my head like a butterfly world. I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else, but I just made a verb out of butterfly, and everything is just like butterfly shoes, butterfly world. So that's how it
Because
happened.
I do notice you do have your I believe this is your logo like embedded in the
Yeah,
footbed,
yeah.
right?
It's a
On
butterfly.
each,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So is this like how did you embed that? Is it like printed on? Is it stamped? Like how does
It's a
that?
stamp. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a stamp. I have a
Uh,
stamp. I have like a little stamp where you wax the thingy, on the package as well. I just love butterflies. I would add them everywhere. I have like sandals here, like I add butterflies on all the things.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're obsessed with butterflies, and I guess it has a meaning behind this. So okay. So how did you get into making, I guess, the moccasins and like the barefoot shoes? Were you always into like barefoot sandals or minimalist type of shoes?
No, no, I haven't even. When I was making kids' shoes, I didn't even know about barefoot anything. I was
Uh-huh.
just, I knew that it's good for kids to have like flexible soles and stuff like that. So, and I was making a kid's shoes for, I want to say, like at least 7 years. One time I got a message on my Facebook page if I make barefoot shoes, and my honest response was like, "What is that? I don't know. Tell me what it is, and I'll tell you if I can make it." And then I start looking into it and what is it about, and like a wider toe box and flexible soles and just zero drop sole. And I was like, I've never heard about it before. And it's like the benefits of it, I guess, right? And I grew up with my mom and my grandmother. They both have bunions, and they both had like those very deformed feet. And I also had bunions. And I was like, "Oh, that's why." Like, because my shoes are too tight. I never, it just didn't click in my head that my shoes were too tight, that the shoes that I grew up wearing all my life were too tight. So I made myself a pair, and I started just like wearing, switching to barefoot, like, a little bit. And then I started like getting custom requests for barefoot adult shoes. I wasn't really making adult shoes at the time. So I was just slowly trying to see like expanding sizes, expanding widths, adjusting toe box if needed. And I changed, I didn't live barefoot life before, but now all I wear is only barefoot shoes. I cannot even like see myself squeezing my feet in a tiny, tiny toe box, like
Yeah.
Nikes or whatever. I used to love Nikes.
Yeah.
I can't wear them anymore.
It's like this. The saying is like, once you know, like it's hard to go back. Once your
Right.
mind been
It's just
open.
like
Mhm.
it clicked in my head, and especially like I took a picture one time. I was trying on Target shoes, sandals, like I liked them, and I was like, but they didn't fit. So I was like, I'm gonna make them myself, and I took a picture of it. And then 2 years later, when I already start making barefoot shoes, I found that picture, and I took a picture of my feet 2 years later wearing barefoot shoes. The difference was like mind blowing. I was like, oh, I didn't see that. I grew up knew how to make clothes, right? I can sew my own clothes. So how come we can sew clothes that fit our body, but we don't have shoes that fit our body or feet, right? Like we're just like so brainwashed that those are the what do you call those narrow toe boxes are what it is, and we just have to wear that.
Yeah. Especially when they're like mass produced and like, especially when they're like, thick, rigid soles too. I mean, that's another thing that I think I had to get out of is like how stiff and narrow those shoes are and not bendable, like you're
Right.
saying. Um,
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, because I have two kids of my own, so I understand like having it starts from when they're young, right? The foundation and getting
Mhm.
them into the right shoes. Because I'm
Right.
looking at my kids now, I'm like, "Oh, man, like, I could have prevented the years if I not, you know, introduced them to barefoot shoes, almost 2 years ago," but that's 5
Yeah,
years. Yeah.
right. It's so awesome that actually there's such a big exposure to the barefoot, you know, type of lifestyle where we don't have to buy uncomfortable shoes, and we can actually wear shoes that fit our feet.
Yeah, and so for yourself, so you grew up making clothes, and is this all, like, so all hand sewn, right? I mean, these are all from the machine that you have, correct? All the
Yeah,
sandals?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Right. I make them. I like that's another thing. Like, I guess I don't have a warehouse of shoes. I don't have inventory or whatever. I have hides of leather and rubber sheets where I have to like made all my patterns by myself. Created all the patterns for different sizing and hand cut everything. Hand Not hand sew, like I use a sewing machine, but yeah,
Mhm.
basically everything just me.
So who taught you how to sew then?
Oh, so I was born in USSR.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you know anything about USSR. We didn't have anything. There was no clothes whatsoever. So my mother and my grandmother like were taught young how to sew. So there was something that I was taught as well since like 7 years old how to sew, and I always knew how to sew. I always make my own clothes, and I was I studied like fashion as well. So it was like a passion of mine, to doing design, clothing, and stuff like that. But I guess once I start making shoes, I kind of like put those two together. I never really had passion for shoes. It just happened now.
That's awesome. So, do you still dabble in, like, making clothes and
Clothes
stuff
and
too? Yeah.
a little bit here and there. I can like I can like adjust easy. Like if something doesn't fit, like my body, I know like I can what's the word? Uh,
Alter it.
alter. Yes,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yes.
So yeah. But I'm more of a like if I buy any kind of clothes, like I like to paint on it a little bit, like those kind of things. Like so, not necessarily to sew it, but like to add some small designs here and there.
Huh. Um, so kinda help me walk through the process of, like, how do you make your sandals? Okay. So, was I know you we talked about moccasins, but, like,
Hmm.
you have a lot of variety and different styles that you have on your website.
Hmm.
I'm just intrigued to see like where do you get your inspiration and where do you get like your materials from typically? So like kind of give me a rundown because like when you first started, like I'm sure you had to like source and find the right type of materials, right?
Right. Yeah, I definitely went through a lot of leather stores because like when you buy it online, it just like the thickness of leather is different. Some leather scratches easier than others. So like I had to double to research what kind of leather will work for my shoes, especially if it's kids' shoes. You don't want shoes to be super scratched up. So, and once I figured out what I need to look for, then I start looking for online suppliers. And just, sometimes you can get like samples of leather, or sometimes like trial and error. You'll buy leather, it doesn't work, it's just gonna sit on your shelf till, till some project. Um, and same thing with rubber. I'll figure out also found different type of rubber that might work for my shoes, and different thickness. Some people like it thicker, some like it thinner. So luckily I can offer two thickness right now. I really want to offer like even thicker, because I know some people like what's 1 centimeter, like 10 millimeter shoes. So working on that. So yeah, and how the pattern, the way I made pattern, I guess, since I know how clothes is made, what measurements to take, how to make a pattern from scratch. Same, like the way I did on my daughter when she was little, I had to measure her food constantly. Like, she would be on her sleep, like napping or whatever. I'd be measuring her food if it worked or didn't work, trying to chew on her. So, and for adults, I was just trying on myself or on my friends. So, and that, just from that on, I created different patterns. And then customers request sometimes, like they have let's say not a standard measurements for the foot, like extra wide and very short, very high instep, and they'll just can send me all those measurements, and I can adjust the pattern to fit their feet.
Mhm.
So
What's one of the most recent orders that you've had there? Like, wow, this is a long project, or what's one of the harder ones to do? Maybe it was more customizable than others.
I guess too hard. Like, I mean, when it's just like the adjustments of the width or
Uh-huh.
instep, or it's not really that hard. But when I guess customers have some ideas, they want a completely different style, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, or sometimes I don't have time for that. And like the last 2 years, we were very busy due to Anya reviews exposure. So she and her customers kept us really busy. So I didn't really have time to do too many custom projects, but now it's slowing down. So I don't have it in. I can't explain to you right now which it was, like a loafer, like a
Uh-huh.
similar to Birkenstock loafer, but with a buckle on top, like a half clog, half loafer situation. I don't remember the name of that style. So somebody requested that style, and it was fun to work on.
Yeah.
I genuinely like love custom projects.
That's
So
that's what kind of like challenges your
yeah,
creativity,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I love it. And before I was making adult shoes, if there will be kids, they will be like, "Oh, I have a dog. Can you paint a picture of my dog on the shoes?" And I'm like, "Totally, let's paint it." I love doing that kind of stuff.
All right. So for people who have never worn your type of footwear, give us some of your favorite aspects of what you create. So whether if it's buckles, whether if it's like I said the materials, like what are some of the favorite things that you like about your footwear? Because obviously I have two different style here.
hmm
In your opinion, some of
I
your
feel
favorite
like the
aspects?
most the something that I heard from my customers that stands out is that the fact that my shoes don't need to be broken in, that they're very soft, and you just wear them and you can go right away. You don't have to wait until the toe box gonna stretch out. You don't have to wait for the leather to soften up because it's already so soft. So, and a lot of people like that. I mean, some people don't like it because they think it feels like house slippers, but you almost like can't feel the shoes on your feet because they're light and they're very soft. So I would say like that's definitely one of the things that makes it comfortable to wear.
And then you said that what you call it, you were I guess featured on Anya's uh, um, website. How did that come about too? Like, was that kind of more of a unexpected like
Super
moment?
unexpected.
Yeah.
She just emailed me. No, actually, she placed an order. She placed
Hmm.
an order, and she's like, "Oh, like I know your processing time, like you make shoes by scratch, and it's gonna take like 4 to 6 weeks. But is there any way you can make this one faster because we want to feature it?" And I'm like, "For sure, let me make it right away." So I made her the same clogs and those buckle sandals, and they got featured, and my website like totally blew up after that. It's just like amazing.
Yeah, she definitely has a quite following, and
Yeah.
I guess how would you tell people like just how that makes a big impact, especially for small business owners, like having that kind of support from someone that's been in
It's
barefoot
like
shoes for a while.
amazing. Yeah, it's totally amazing. And it's just, you know what, also like I love that her following is like it's like a community, like they have like a big Facebook group where everybody shares things they like and don't like. And I don't know, it's just like honest. And if there is some things they don't like, that's totally okay. It's just for my business or any other business, it's something to work on. We can all do better. We can always get some kind of a feedback. And I mean, the support that I got from them is it's like unbelievable. I cannot be more grateful for her.
And then I guess for you, I know you said that you got busy. So how has it your business grown from the time that you first started making shoes till now? Like, I guess how have you grown? In what ways? Whether if it's just more orders, more exposure.
Everything. Honestly, like when I started, like was I was a struggling single mom making quiches. I was like barely making a living. I don't know. It's just now so many orders, so many customers, the exposure is amazing. It's kind of awesome, and I feel like I didn't, I personally like, didn't do too much of exposure on the social media, like, because sometimes I don't have time for that. And sometimes you just burn out to post on social media. And basically word of mouth, customers, recommend you to other customers. And, blogs like Anya or like your podcast that you guys share stuff, and it's like that brings you extra exposure and more customers. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's why I love about what, the especially in um barefoot minimalist market like shoes is like I guess when we know who, like I said, who is behind typically the brand, like
Yeah.
we build a
Hmm.
connection and we really are for each other because I want everyone to get into different types of footwear, especially barefoot shoes. So I want everyone to get into different pairs to see because my foot might not fit your, different brands because of the shape, the size of my shape of my foot.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and so I think that's why I'm on this journey to like try and get into different shoes so I can share my experience with others, who have maybe this similar foot shape or similar problems. Like, hey, this is the type that will be best for your foot because it's a wider box or it's not so tapered, Um,
Yeah.
because like yeah, I was the same way. I was more of a sneakerhead. I love my major shoe brands back in the days, but now I'm thinking more functional about my foot than fashion.
Also, right. But in the end of the day, when you come back home wearing those old sneakers like before, you don't have no foot pain now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like there is nothing like I mean, I don't know if I'll be like, if I find myself walking all day and coming back home and my feet hurt, I'll be questioning my footwear. And now I don't have problems like that. It's like amazing how my mindset changed. It's not about fashion, it's about comfort now. I mean, yes, fashion and comfort might go the same, you know, close to each other. But anyway.
and that's why I think that's people who I guess who have been in pain of their foot, they would go. They would rather have footwear that will support them rather than hinder them and take them down the road of painkillers and pills and stuff. So this is definitely a way of a lifestyle. I see a lot
Right.
more people getting into. Um, Also, kind of share with us what are some of your goals that you have, whether if it's like current collections or future collections that you have in store for Butterfly Your World.
I guess I would just I mean, there is one style I'm working on right now. It's like Mary Jane's because I have a lot of requests for that and I just never had time to make a pattern. So I'm finally making a pattern. I did make the pattern. Now I just need to add more colors to it. I just I'll show you like oh well it's all
Ooh,
flat now here. But it's
okay.
like just like a regular Mary Jane kind of shoe. So I guess working on adding more colors of that and post it on the website because it's like a whole process for me, not just making it. Then you have to post and take pictures and stuff like that. So I guess that's all for now, and then we'll see maybe another style.
Yeah. What's your most like purchased pair of footwear that people typically purchase on your website?
It's probably the clogs. They definitely the most popular right now, and those buckle sandals that you have as well.
This one.
I guess the cool thing that there's like so many colors you can make them, and they don't have to be boring brown colors. They can be bright pink and bright yellow and stuff like that.
And so, like, I guess someone wants to get customization. Like, what is the process of take? So, like, kind of give me a rundown of like how you would do for like customization for for most people's orders. So, how long does
Mhm.
it take typically?
I mean, usually people reach out over the website through the website. Like there's like a custom request uh, e- to email or
Hmm.
just regular email. It goes to the same box. Just tell me what do you have in mind? Like what kind of custom shoe you have in mind? Either is it just like the styles that I already offer, just maybe in different color, or like need adjustment in the pattern or anything like that. Which is basically back and forth. We'll decide if either whatever I can accommodate or not, colors or whatever, basically whatever idea you have in mind, right? Like maybe you want like a frozen shoes. Like if you tell me, hey, I want frozen shoes, but I want them like to be like clogs, but frozen shoes. And I'll tell you, well, I can make them in either silver color or like metallic turquoise, and we can add like a snowflake on the back. Will that work? And you tell me, I want a snowflake on the front.
Hmm.
You got it. I can make a snowflake on the front, and usually it doesn't take. I mean, it doesn't take me longer than any other shoe. It's just gonna go in the queue with the regular orders, and maybe between 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah.
So basically, you try to fit this around your whole family life, right? Or do you do this throughout nighttime and daytime? Like, when do you have time to just fit in all these orders?
Well, I usually work during the day, and at night, just regular family time. Or if I have time, I do it at night. I honestly like what I do. It's like making shoes and so on. It just doesn't even feel like work. It's like a hobby that I truly, truly enjoy. And like whenever I have time, for example, just lay and do nothing. I'll just rather go and do something work related, and just like cut a new pair of shoes or like, I don't know, pairs that I need to make. So it just doesn't feel like work. So for me, it's very like, I would say like I just do it in all my free time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I work from home. Like I should have mentioned that. I work from home. So I just have like a separate room just for my creative outlet over here. So
Mhm.
I just go in and whenever I feel like it, I'll just work.
That's the nice part too, is, working from home so you can really fit around your family's schedule. Um, I'm assuming
Yeah.
so.
Right. Yeah.
Did you have to convince your husband to get into barefoot shoes too?
Oh my God, it's so funny. He's totally sneakerhead. Has like, I don't know, 30 or 40 pairs of random all the Nike stuff. When he started dating me, I was wearing only barefoot shoes and I was trying to convince, not convince him, but like talk about it. I'm talking a lot about barefoot shoes to my friends and, to everybody. One time we were in Universal Park and we were walking, whenever you go to Universal Park, you go for hours. You don't go just for an hour, you go like 6, 7, 8 hours. And he I was wearing Bear Barrick's sneakers,
Uh-huh.
the Bilenka ones, and he pointed out my shoes, and he's like, "And your feet don't hurt?" And I'm like, "No, do yours?" He's like, "A little bit," and I'm like, Why are you wearing those shoes if your feet hurts?" And then I was like, "Let's try to get you these shoes and these shoes," and we tried different brands, and he was in it for a while, but he's more of a fashion rather than comfort right now. He does have my shoes, right, that I made him, and he has some formal shoes that are also like barefoot because they're like more comfortable. But like sneakers, no, we can't give up sneakers just yet.
Yeah,
But actually, like whenever we were getting married and for the engagement photo shoot and for the wedding, he was totally up for it. We both were wearing my shoes, so he agreed to wear my shoes.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
He didn't have to think twice about it.
No, I guess. I mean,
Okay, what are some of your goals for the next like 5, 10 years of you growing your brand? Because like you started this brand, I want to say like in the past 6 years. Was it what year was it? That 2000?
it's actually started 2015.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while. But I wouldn't say like when I started, it's like it was very much of a hobby. I was just, just baby shoes, like kids' shoes. I didn't really like spend all day doing making shoes like I'm making it right now. Goals for the next 5, 10 years. I don't know. I honestly like this is the hardest question. I feel like I don't have goals. I honestly just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I hope I get more custom requests, and like I hope I can bring more shoes to more people and convince more people wear barefoot shoes, and just like spread more of a like normality of these kind of like wearing these kind of shoes rather than uncomfortable small narrow toe box shoes. So I guess maybe adding more colors or more styles and stuff like that.
Okay. And then where do you see like barefoot shoes evolving in the future? Do you think that more people are going to be wearing barefoot shoes? Do you think there's going to be more like brand? Like, I don't know, where do you see barefoot shoes evolving in the future?
Wouldn't that be cool if Nikes will come out with the barefoot shoes, right? Collection.
Hmm.
Like they do like those kind of drops. That's what I'm like manifesting there in the future when Nikes and other big brands would come out with barefoot collections and all the sneakerhead people can expand their collection to barefoot comfortable shoes.
Yeah, they just have to be willing to take that. Um, I guess the years of cushion shoes, they have to definitely like take that down as far as
Yeah, even like
thickness.
they can start with expanding the toe box, just make it a little less narrow. I'm sure a lot of people will benefit out of it.
What would be interesting too is like if you see more the same with bigger brands, but doing collaboration with like other brand barefoot shoe brands to like see like and, get a take from them. It's like, hey, you've been in barefoot shoes for a while. Let's kind of do a collab. I think that'll be cool to have two
Right?
brands to merge so that you can have a bigger audience and try
Right.
to get more people into barefoot shoes. So,
Hmm. Instead of
but
making a collection collab with Costco, they can make a collab with other barefoot brands, right?
yeah,
And imagine there will be lines out the door to get barefoot shoes where they can resell them later for hundreds of dollars on eBay. Let's manifest that.
and then last but not least, what are some ways that you plan to create more awareness and exposure for your brand and business?
I guess talking to other like influencers and like, social media like podcasters like you, that would be awesome to get more exposure and talking to other people and spreading the word, getting more customers you know, and maybe be more present on social media. That's definitely my goal every year, be more present on social media, but it's challenging.
Yeah, especially since like creating shoes is like your first main priority and then social media, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
understand that.
It's
That's
hard to
the
balance.
well, I think that's definitely will, you will have more exposure, hopefully more and more times that you're online or on podcasts and on websites, that
Yeah.
more people will recognize your brand. So, um,
Hope so.
how would a person learn more about your brand and where can they purchase your sandals and your footwear? So if you want to, feel free to share your email, social media, and website that they can purchase these
Mhm.
products to get customization or whatever.
Well, my website is butterflyyourworld.com. Social media, I believe on Instagram, butterfly.your.world, and email butterfly.your.world@gmail.com. That's it.
Perfect. Well, Irina, um, do you have any questions for me before we conclude?
No, I just want to say thank you for challenging me to be out here showing myself and talking about it. And, maybe like it will motivate me to be more showing my face more often and telling my story where I can connect, more with my customers.
Yes,
So
no, I'm looking forward. I'm rooting you on for as you continue to grow and of course expand your business. So thank you so much for having yourself on my podcast.
thank you.